Coming up, Dave and the crew show how to keep older semis looking great. Plus, they check out some high-performance manifolds, custom floor mats, and a Jeep Invasion to remember. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat.
Welcome to another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat. You know, if you wanted to add turbo power to your vehicle, about 10 years ago, that meant a lot of money and a lot of time, and it's not that complicated anymore, thanks to Joey and you guys at Fahler Speed and Performance. You brought some stuff for show and tell. Show us what you've done for turbos.
Right, so our primary product that we have here today is our one-piece cast stainless steel turbo header. And so what this allows us to do is remove the original factory exhaust manifold and bolt on in place a manifold that allows you to join your left bank and also add a turbocharger very simply and easy in your own garage.
Something that is usually complicated when installing a turbo is where do you put the wastegate? There's not a lot of space under the hood.
Right, and it's very vehicle specific, but what we've done here is added two provisions here and as well in the front, two cast bosses that are easily drilled and then welded right here on the casting, no special materials required. Anybody could do in their own garage with a welder, or you could also add that as an option at the time of your order and we'll do it right for you and save you the time.
Now, materials are really important, and this thing is exceptionally beefy. Tell me about the construction.
Right, so this is a one-piece cast stainless steel manifold. It's about 3/16 thick at a minimum all around the part. And what this allows us to do is have a really beefy manifold that can support the heat, vibration, and the weight of this large turbocharger. This one that's here today is framed for T4 turbos, so you're generally talking 25 to 35 pounds depending on the size and options that you choose. And so what we've done is really create something that's going to last years without much effort.
And the thickness of that, of course, is important for the durability as well, because you have the expansion and contraction the entire time.
Absolutely right. So, I mean, we're talking extreme temperatures well over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit during a high pass, say at the drag strip or even on the highway. And so what we've wanted to do is just make sure that that is going to hold up for you over time and really be good dollar, value for you when you purchase through us.
Now, who chiefly is using your manifolds?
Right, so we have customers all over the United States and even some internationally, Canada included. And it's customers, DIY guys in their garage, all the way to guys running, competitive racing in all kinds of different classes.
And we're talking strictly LS motors?
Yeah, so Gen 3 and Gen 4 right now, which is available in like 99 through 2014. And with a couple simple modifications, a mild camshaft and fuel injectors, it's not unheard of to easily hit 500-600 horsepower.
Well, it's great looking. We know it's reliable. And if you're looking for reliable power, low cost, and something simple to install, check them out at FahlerSP.com. Well, I got to tell you, I've driven a lot of different vehicles on Motorhead Garage. This is a first behind the wheel of a big rig, and it's not just any big rig, it is a famous custom big rig. And you get a chance to check it out here on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, coming up right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by Magic Creeper, the most versatile creeper ever. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. EMS Automotive, manufacturer of automotive parts based in Detroit, Michigan. And by Top Coat. Don't just coat it, top coat it.
Here at Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, we love everything that goes, and we love trucks. And boy, do we love this truck. It's a great custom truck from our friends at Truck Rods by Jones Performance. Rod Jones, you are responsible for this. Tell me about this truck.
This is a 1996 Kenworth W900 long. We've owned it for 20 plus years. It's actually on its second redesign on the bodywork and paint.
Oh, looking at this thing, I never believe it's a 30-year-old truck. It looks brand new.
Yeah, it's the paint job alone is 15 years old. And we do deliver hoods with it, but it's usually just during fair weather.
This thing is incredible, and it all starts with the hood. Tell me about the custom hood on this.
This is a 900 long custom. It's a Raptor cow induction hood. We also offer about 8 other different models of this 900. You can take it from anything from like a new Raptor looking fender to like an old A model, or even like a shaved headlight.
What's the design process on something like this?
We do everything in-house. This particular hood right here was designed in the CAD system, and we use some CNC equipment to do this stuff, but mostly our tooling guys, we got guys that have been there for 20 plus years. They are master builders.
The thing I love about this is the way the hood flows down into the fenders, and that's, you know, from far away you don't really notice it. You get up close and it really pops.
Yeah, that's the fender was designed for that. It's got that long, low look to it.
What's the array of trucks that you cover with your hoods?
We cover a lot of the older models. There's over 140 different models we have. Some of the stuff's outdated, some of it's current production.
So if I've got a truck that's 30 years old and something happens to it, it hit a deer,
Yeah.
something happens, it just gets old,
Yeah.
and I need a new one, where else can I turn to find one?
Really nowhere. I mean, we build a lot of the models that are forgotten. The old LTL Fords and the R Model Max, you know, you can't get those anywhere else.
And it's a classic look when you get the stock ones. How close are those to the originals?
From a distance, they look the same. We go through a huge process of building our own masters and everything. Every surface is re-swept. Again, going back to the tooling guys, these guys are masters. The side of the hood looks like a piece of glass.
And we got a chance to look under one of the hoods, and I noticed the lines are perfect. Underneath looks just as good as the top side. How does that whole process work?
Everything's an open molded process, sprayed up polyester fiberglass, and then it's bonded with a polyester bond. And then we take it a step farther and actually chop over top of all the inner-structure, the bond lines, and that's what really nails it down.
And if that's not good enough, your quality control is also second to none. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we've been Q1 certified and ISO certified for over 20 years.
And how much experience do your guys have at doing just this?
We got guys that have been there for 30 years. You know, most of our workforce has been there 15 plus.
If I need a hood right now, if something happened, a tree falls on it, how long is the turnaround process?
You call us up, our sales crew will talk it through, you know, make sure you're getting the right thing. And we have over 400 hoods in stock at all times. So the turnaround's usually, if not the same day, next day.
What if I have a problem with the existing hood or trying to get your hood on by chance once I get it?
Again, call our sales crew. If they can't walk you through it, usually it gets passed to me, and I'm usually the guy you're talking to. You know, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to make it right.
When you're talking mechanical work or installing accessories on a vehicle, I'm gonna need lots of hardware, right? There's gonna be lots of trips to the hardware store.
Not necessarily. We try to send as much hardware with it as we can. Things like the hinge bars and the rear cab supports are pretty much standardized, so whenever we can do that, we try to put that in there.
I've seen a lot of add-on things, a lot of aftermarket stuff where you have to measure and you're having trouble lining everything up. How do you make that easier?
We go through a process in our tooling shop. Our specs are held to an 1/8 inch tolerance. You know, we measure everything that's out there in the field. We actually build cab fixtures to fit all of our hoods. We spot check them from time to time. You know, and all of our numbers are controlled. Nothing gets out of our door without being inspected, and we try to build everything right to center spec.
So you ensure that I'm getting a quality piece to begin with. If I have an issue with it, what kind of warranty do I have?
There's a 2-year warranty against any manufacturing defects. Nothing gets out of our door without being inspected. Every critical dimension is taken that, you know, we know within an 1/8 inch that this hood's gonna fit. And if it doesn't, you get a hold of us.
Well, Jones Performance is a place to go if you want to keep your truck running, looking great for another 30 years like this beast back here. You can check them out at jonesperformance.com. We are going to keep on trucking right here at Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, so don't go anywhere.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. You know, I got to tell you, I don't think there's anything better than cruising along in a Jeep topless on the open road, and I don't think I'm alone in that belief. You know how I know? We had a chance to go check out the great Smokey Mountain Jeep Invasion in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Folks there are crazy about their Jeeps. Wall-to-wall Jeeps in the parking lot, and once you get inside, everything possible you could imagine for your Jeep. Of course, Jeeps became popular with GIs when they returned from World War II, and this is where those Jeeps got their start. This is one of the first 2,000 Jeeps made by Willis and Ford before World War II and during the conflict as well. This one assembled December 3rd, 1941, just 4 days before the attack at Pearl Harbor. This vehicle was designated a truck, quarter-ton command, and it was a reconnaissance truck used by the military. Stock Jeeps look terrific, of course, but the second you buy one, you want to start customizing it. Great place to start is the front bumper. You want something more durable, better looking than stock? Well, that's where Iron Bear Customs comes in, and Dave how are your bumpers superior to what else is out there?
Well, we use all-American 3/16 steel on our bumpers. We also use 120 wall, 1 3/4 DOM tubing on all of our bars on our bumpers. We also offer a double shear point that most manufacturers don't offer with their bumpers. So it gives a double the strength for if you're actually using your D-ring mounts, you don't have to worry about them falling off.
And how does that work? It doesn't just weld to the front of the bumper.
It's actually welded to the actual Jeep mount itself and then welded to the outer shell of the bumper. So it gives you a double shear point.
And you mentioned the tubing. How is that superior? What makes it better than stock or the stuff the other guys are using?
Yeah, well, DOM tubing has a higher tensile strength, so you can take a hammer and beat right off the end of it and won't dent or nothing. Nothing like a muffler pipe or anything like that.
It's really important to me that stuff is made in the USA. Tell me where and how your stuff is manufactured.
Well, we're manufacturing our stuff in Washington, Missouri. We use a CNC plasma table to cut all of our parts out. Use a iron worker for bending all the parts.
Speaking of USA, you've got an American Heroes series. Tell me about that lineup.
Yeah, that's something we're really proud that we launched. Very honored to be able to do that. Our American Heroes series has all of our first responders and military personnel, nurses, anybody involved in that type of environment. We also do custom bumpers also, that can get custom done for certain Jeep clubs or a name you want to call your Jeep. So there's a lot of customization available with our bumpers.
Well, they look great and they're super tough. You can find them at info@ironbearcustoms.com. You can customize a Jeep and you can customize a Jeep. Take a look at this 2019 Wrangler. It's got the biggest tires in the joint here, 46-inch tires on this thing, using the stock motor, but 538 gears. But look at the interior, checkered custom seats, the audio system in the back putting out 2,000 watts, and this thing looks as great underneath as it does on top and inside. Hey, rock crawlers, this one's for you. You're gonna have the doors on your Jeep as you're towing it down the road because you need to keep the wind out, but once you get to the event, you want to lose those doors because you're going rock crawling. What are you gonna do with the doors? Well, that's where Dirt Poor Off-Road comes in. Tim, what do you have for us?
So we came up with a design to lock your doors onto your trailer while you're out on the trails and not have to worry about somebody just walking away with it. We spent 2 weeks in Moab and got tired of putting our doors under our RV and searched around, couldn't find a product like this, and 2 years later, here we are.
How are they made?
We CNC cut the main part of it, and then we bend in-house, we weld in-house, assemble it all. It's fully adjustable for, like this model here, for JK and JLs, 2-door or 4-door, and the other one for the TJs and LJs.
How easy is it to change from one model to the other?
You have 4 bolts.
How quick can you do that?
A couple minutes, maybe, at most.
And where is all this made? Is this all made in the U.S.?
We make it all in our shop that we built to start producing this. We buy our metal from a local metal supplier for U.S. made metal, and Miller, JD Square table, all American-made stuff.
If I'm looking for one, where do I need to go?
DirtPoorOffroad.com.
Now here's a great looking restoration. This is a 1979 Jeep CJ Golden Eagle Edition. Has an all AMC original front and rear end. This, by the way, was a 5-year frame-off restoration project, a father and son project to boot. 1 3/4 inches of lift on the frame and a 1.5-inch body lift makes this thing look great. The only thing salvageable on the engine were the intake valves. Those are the only original parts on this engine. And what made it a Golden Eagle back then? Well, it had a tachometer and a clock standard. Air conditioning was optional. Well, the name Scrambler was around for Jeeps in the early 1980s, and if you want one now, they're kind of hard to find, and it'll be a big chunk of change, about 10 grand if you want one that's in decent shape. But Jake White, you found this one, and it was a little more affordable than that. How much was it?
Yeah, it was only $5 for me.
How'd you pull that off?
So the Scrambler Owners Association, a national club, built this for charity for St. Jude Children's Hospital and Blue Ribbon Coalition. They sold tickets, $5 a piece, all over the country after we assembled the vehicle, from donated parts from the club members and time spent, putting it together. And so basically I had 9 tickets left in the second bundle of 100. So I sold nearly 200 tickets. I bought the last 9, so that's my contribution. Didn't really think anything of it. And the first one of those 9 won it. So drove it home from Clayton, Oklahoma. That's where we had the national scramble that year. And I've had it ever since. So that was 10 years ago.
Crossover Crossover vehicles are all the rage these days, and every one of those vehicles owes its lineage to this. This is an AMC Eagle, and it was made back in the 1980s when AMC owned Jeep. Now, it was the first passenger vehicle to have full-time four-wheel drive. It was also the first passenger vehicle to have independent front suspension. Now, sadly, the AMC Eagle met its demise in 1988, but its legacy lives on in every crossover you see today. Oh, you gotta love a Jeep. We're having a great time here on Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. We've got a lot more coming up right after this.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Locking kits now available for all turbo applications. Go to stage8.com. Performance Engineering and Manufacturing, racing gears and drivetrains. Car Capsule, protecting vehicles for over 20 years. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Well, we get a lot of questions in emails and social media here at Motorhead Garage when it comes to voltage drops. What is it? Well, I can simplify it for you. It's just measuring resistance with voltage. If you look at this graphic right here, we actually started out with 12 volts, got 6 going across the light. Well, we only have 6 because we lost 6 in the corrosion down there. That's voltage drop. That light bulb's not going to burn very bright. Now, why do we use it? Let me show you a trick here. We can use resistance. Now, resistance can fool you, especially on heavy amp circuits. If I showed you this wire right here, resistance-wise, you would think, well, that wire is going to have a ton of resistance because it's all shredded up. But if you look there at the meter, it's about 2.2, maybe 0.3. This perfectly good wire is going to measure the same, 0.2, 0.3. Why? Well, there's no amps flowing through the circuit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to actually measure it with volts. I'm going to switch it over to volts. We got an assistant in the car who's going to crank it up. I'm going to do the positive and the negative side. Go ahead and crank it up. So I'm on the positive side of the alternator, and then you go to the negative to the negative. When you go there, bam, you're reading voltage drop. You can cut it off. That tells you if you have any resistance in the circuit. It's a great tool to use. Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Top Coat. You know, floor mats are kind of an unsung hero. Nobody talks about them a whole lot, but they go a long way toward protecting your vehicle, and of course they can make your vehicle look great. But there's not a lot of options out there when it comes to aftermarket floor mats. You have the cheap rubber ones that you lay down on the floor. They don't fit your car very well, and they don't last very long, and they look awful. If you're lucky, you get one that's carpeted. They still don't fit very well, but 3D custom fit floor mats can help us out. And Kyle, tell us what you have going on there that's going to make my car look great and protect it.
Today we have our 3D MaxSpider Kagyu custom fit all-weather floor mat. The floor mats are custom fit for specific vehicles, so depending on what kind of vehicle you have, Honda Accord, Ford Ranger, Tesla Model 3, whatever kind of car you have, the mats are custom fit to that specific model.
They look great in our Ford Ranger here, I can tell you, Kyle, and you've sent them to us in black. What other colors are available?
The colors available for our floor mats are gray, tan, and black, so those are the main options.
Gotcha. The key to what you guys do is the construction, the durability. Tell me how they're made.
The mats are made out of a triple layer construction. The top layer of the mats are made out of a thermoplastic rubber. The middle layer is made out of an XPE foam, and the back layer is made out of our patented MaxSpider fibers. It's little hairs that grip onto the interior carpet so it doesn't ruin the vehicle.
That's an ingenious idea, because I know the cheap floor mats, the rubber ones, have the nubs on the back and they put pock marks in your carpet, and those sometimes never go away. And if you've got a classic car or a really nice car, you don't want that going on. And worse yet, some have Velcro on the back, and if you keep inserting those and removing them, that's going to tear your carpet up after a few years worth of use. But this is a great idea, and it keeps it stuck right in there. And also, the Max Fibers, in conjunction with the way it's form fit to your car, makes it stay right in there perfectly.
Exactly. Some of our floor mats have eyelets on the top of them, so it can clip directly into the vehicle so it doesn't slide around. But some of them also just cover the area to make sure that it doesn't slide around on the vehicle's interior.
What lengths do you go to make sure that each of these fits the car that they're made for?
Every single one of our floor mats get tested within each vehicle that we say that it fits. So when we say that it fits this vehicle, we've actually taken that mat, gone and found that vehicle, put it in and test it.
Now, you've worked awfully hard at that because you make it for a ton of vehicles. How many different cars and trucks?
We have about 6,500 different applications.
My goodness, that's incredible. And what if you don't have my brand, even though you have 6,000 of them out there, if you don't have what I need exactly, what can you do?
Yeah, well, in that case, we have our universal floor mats. They are made in the exact same method as the Kagu floor mats. Thermoplastic rubber, XPE foam in the middle, and then Max Fighter backing on the back. These are all trimmed to fit, so they have little lines all over them that you can cut to make sure that it fits the interior of your vehicle.
Those are going to look just as great as your custom fit floor mats. And what other models of mats do you have? It's not just the Kagu.
In addition to the Kagu, we have our Elegant line, which is a carpeted floor mat series that is an alternative to your OEM carpet.
And you branched out quite a bit. It's not just floor mats anymore. You've got a number of other products we can check out. What do you have?
In addition to our floor mats, we have our carbon fiber handy trunk. It's similar construction to the floor mat, but it's intended for you to be able to organize the equipment that you keep in your cargo area. It's a little box.
Love it.
We have headrests, seat protectors, seat covers, and cargo liners.
Very cool. You've got a really neat line, a lot of innovative stuff. Where can we find them? Can I get them in retail stores?
We have multiple distributors online. You can also purchase them directly from us at our website at www.3dmatsusa.com.
And finally, you talk about the durability. These things are made really well. How long of a warranty? You guys really back your product.
All of our products come with a 3-year limited warranty.
It's fantastic. And again, tell me the website. Where can we find them?
www.3dmatsusa.com.
Well, you're going to love the 3D custom fit floor mats. They're going to fit your car really well, and they're going to keep it protected for a long, long time. And speaking of time, we are out of time for this edition of Motorhead Garage, but we'll be back again next week. You can check us out on Facebook to see what we're up to during the week. And if you have something you'd like to see featured on the show, contact Jeff at masterstv.com. Until next week, from our entire crew here at Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat, we'll see you.